All right, if you watched the show on Friday or you follow me on my Twitter feed, you probably saw how we took on Jimmy Kimmel with examples of his past antics after he, frankly, was kind of bullying the First Lady, in my opinion, who clearly is not in any position to defend herself by making fun of her accent while she's actually reading to children. Now, after we did call Kimmel out, he responded with even more vicious attacks. Anyway, yesterday, Kimmel apologized for some of his behavior. He wrote in part by lampooning Sean Hannity's deference to the president. I most certainly did not intend to belittle or upset members of the gay community. And to those who took offense, I apologize. I will take Sean Hannity at his word that he was genuinely offended by what I believed and still believe to be a harmless and silly aside referencing of our First Lady's accent. Mrs. Trump almost certainly has enough to worry about without being used as a prop to increase TV ratings. All right. I read the apology carefully. A couple of things are pretty clear to me. On the surface, I'll be honest, it seems to be more of a kind of a forced Disney corporate apology directed more towards the LGBTQ community rather than about Kimmel's comments about the First Lady. But honestly, that's ultimately up to you to decide here. I believe everyone should accept apologies. That's how I was raised. That's what my religion teaches me. And I'm going to assume he's sincere. But from my perspective, I really do kind of enjoy a good fight. And I do agree with Jimmy in this sense. It's time to move on. Now, for me, what this was really about, it was never about Hannity versus Jimmy Kimmel. It's a lot bigger than that for me. And here's why. Just the level of hatred, vitriol against this president and his family is frankly unprecedented, as we've been talking about all night tonight. The left in this country, they've even attacked the president's, 10, 11, 12-year-old son. And what's even worse is we have this corrupt media industrial complex. We see it all working tonight, daily, breathlessly, saying pretty much anything and everything in an effort to literally hurt this president and bring his family down. Now, attacking the First Lady for her accent while reading to kids is just one small example, but it's a line in the sand for me. It's obvious that Melania, Barron, they're not political in their roles, and those cheap shots, I'm saying, need to end. Now, look, I was a tough critic. People have been writing on, you're a tough critic of President Obama and his policies, and you always talked about him and Michelle and going to the Church of GD America and hanging out with Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn and Reverend Wright and so on and so forth. And that's all true, by the way. And I also criticized Michelle Obama's political statements. Like, I couldn't believe a couple of times she said, for the first time in my adult life, I'm proud of my country. I'm like, really? Makes no sense. And the liberal media is trying to say that my commentary of Michelle Obama's political statements is somehow similar to what Jimmy Kimmel said about Melania Trump. Frankly, that's a lie. They know it. I was criticizing Michelle Obama on the substance of her political comments. By the way, no one will ever report that I have said multiple times on radio and TV that Michelle and Barack Obama seemed like they were wonderful parents, that their kids seem wonderful and they raised good kids and they did a good job because it's not easy being in the public eye and that kids should be left alone. I said it many times. That's the difference, and I think that's a big one. And unlike the Obamas, President Trump, and the First Lady, it seems that they're not given any courtesy by anybody at this point, which proves my larger point. The media is now wholly an extension of the Democratic Party. This show and a few other voices on this network and talk radio, we're the rare exceptions to this rule. Look on your screen. The 8 years of Obama's policies failed you, the American people, on a spectacular level. Nobody in the media reported this, and I think that's what the last election was about, the forgotten men and women of this country in poverty on food stamps and out of the labor force. Liberal media never talked about it. We have an endless stream of lies, propaganda, conspiracy theories, cheap shot personal attacks. My point in all of this is, at the end of the day, it's hurting those American people. And it's really hurting the ability of the president to even have a month to do his job. But for me, this is the line in the sand. You leave women and kids alone, I'm done. And that's why I took on Jimmy Kimmel. I'm not trying to be the thought police, and I sure as heck don't want political correctness. I've never supported boycotts, never will. And Jimmy, by the way, conservatives like me who support illegal immigration, we're not anti-immigration. We believe in legal immigration. And just as responsible people can disagree about some of the crazy things you've done in the past, I say let the audience decide. And I've noticed, by the way, Jimmy, you seem focused on politics. You seem sincere when you talked about health care. You seem sincere when you talk about the country. I want to extend an invitation. You want to come on the show? I'll promise no name calling, no anger, no rehashing of the Twitter fight. You want to have a serious discussion, we can talk about the president, his policies, healthcare, comedy, political correctness, ending boycotts, how I've supported Bill Maher, Howard Stern, Don Imus, Opie and Anthony, people that I disagree with vehemently. My bet is you'll actually agree with me on a lot more issues than you think. But from my point of view, it's over with Jimmy Kimmel. But I meant what I said. Unfair attacks. There need to be an end to this. There's no shortage, by the way, of comedic material out there. By the way, Jimmy, if you do want to start up again, I promise I'll punch back even harder. And my producers spent all weekend compiling a lot of your highlights or lowlights in your career. They don't make you look too good. So instead of airing them, we'll put them in storage. And we have more important pressing issues like what's happening in Syria and the gassing of women and children. All right, when we come